Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Public Safety Facility Advisory Committee. It is May 15th. Let me get a roll call of the voting members.
Ryan Flanders, present.
Craig Wilbur, present.
David Martindale, present.
Don Davis.
Tony Pagliarulo, present.
Okay. All 5 voting members are present. Thank you. Can you stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Why don't you set us off in National Peacekeeping Day?
Let the Eagles be the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and
Thank you. We have 2 sets of meeting minutes to approve. March 5th, which dates back a little bit. I'm not sure if anyone has a chance to look at it in advance. I didn't have any edits that I saw.
I'm okay with the minutes as is.
Someone make a motion.
Motion approved.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? And March 5th meetings go forward. April 9th meeting minutes. I've looked these over. They're very lengthy and very detailed, but I don't see anything that I would challenge or dispute. Does anyone else have any comments about the April 9th?
Make a motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Thank you.
Don't have the third, do I?
We do not have April 30th, so that will be tabled until the next meeting when we have it. The next item is just going over, for those who haven't heard or went to the first part of the annual meeting and how Article 13 shaped out. Basically, Article 13 was to use the First Street property site behind us here for the potential of a police department or other municipal use. The town voted that down in the annual meeting, so this site will no longer be considered for the police department. Is there any questions or discussions that we want to have on that particular topic?
It seems like the neighborhood, everybody is pretty set to stick with the original plan. And I don't know if it's appropriate or not, but I'd like to make a motion to move this up to the select board and have them put out an RFP to sell the property and or sell it to the developer that has developed.
That's a good discussion to have. And I believe Bob Bishop, if we request it, could put that on the next select board meeting if we feel it's kind of outside of our charge, but I also think it would
agree.
help. So I'm not sure I'd make a motion, but I'd be willing to at least reach out to Bob Bishop and ask the
The only
question.
thing is just to get it off our plate and our stuff, is just to, I just take the motion to move it up to the select board to see if they would do that.
Do you want to make that, are you making that motion, John?
Yeah.
Do we have a second on that motion? Second. Any opposed? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
I have just one thing that, Chris, certainly it was clear in terms of the community message. I did speak to some members afterwards, after the town meeting. And I know the site behind us was certainly voted down, but I just want to let everybody know, the property there is still a 1 acre property. And I wouldn't want to close that door, and I know we'd have to go community outreach and survey, what have you, but I always go back to the Williamstown where they built on 0.46 acres, 3-level building. So I know Walker Brook would still be in play there, community input would still be in play there, but the property behind us is out of play, but I don't think we should take that one completely out of play until the community maybe gives us some feedback there. But that's my only thought regarding.
Thank you, Tony. Any other comments on that?
I'll just follow up with Tony.
Yeah.
I think that we, oh, sorry.
I think the key is communication with the community before anything.
So,
Because they made it pretty clear that they don't want speeding, noisy police here.
And just one more thing, Tony, is this just two separate lots? This lot is one and that lot, so
All one It's lot. all,
so it's even be subdivided.
yeah, that's all.
I would suggest that we would have to get some feedback from the community if they would consider that at all, or if they just consider this one lot. Doesn't matter where it is on the lot, because we didn't tell them necessarily where it was going, so I'd want clarification if that was available, sure.
Yeah.
But at this moment, I would say, unless we hear differently, what we need to do next is start looking at alternate sites. But I think in order to do that, as you mentioned, public engagement is paramount at this point in time. Lanesboro just did a small group they put together for their safety committee to do public engagement. And I'm suggesting that maybe we do that in a smaller group. One of the chairs can be part of that, and then some of the non-voting members can be part of that, and they can start to put a plan together to send back to us, and you would be the voice of the community to the committee, and vice versa, is what I'm suggesting.
I'd be interested in doing that. And also, I just, for, as far as future sites or anything, in my opinion, I think we probably need to, push on the brakes a little bit and let's see what the committee or the community's really up for, because, I think everybody's done a lot of hard work here. And, I know we talked about community outreach, way off in the start at the very beginning. It just never compiled because we were moving at such a fast pace, but I think we need to tap the brakes on this and, really get into community outreach on it so everybody understands, knows where we're going with, and see what the value of this project is.
So should there be a motion made to hold on site selection or site consideration until a community outreach and feedback plan has been put into?
Yes, can I make a motion? And I want to just incorporate one more thing.
Sure.
Along with the community outreach, I think that we still have available monies in, I think we have an item in there with a number on it that we can have Brian Humes up with a public piece of it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I'd like to make a motion to move to start a small group for community outreach, and also let Humes and Associates put together a community outreach webinar or something.
Presentation of some sort.
Yeah.
Something for the community to react to, right? Yeah. Okay.
Well, we have a semblance of a survey. Is that gonna be part of, is that what?
Yeah, I think, but we would give them some more graphics, maybe something prettier to look at than just numbers. And I think that's the challenge, is giving Brian some room to give us some art rendition so that we can show the community what we're thinking of.
And not only recommendations, but studies saying, where things were, if, but positive and negatives to it. Both sides.
That's right.
So from my perspective, if we're gonna put the brakes on talking about alternate sites, we should work on trying to come up with a plan for how we're gonna do that outreach and try and engage and put together that outline of how this is going to look, rather than just kind of, putting out a survey, holding a meeting, having Brian Humes do stuff, I think these are all things that we should be doing. I just want to have a full plan for do that.
We have a small meeting today, but it would, if all the non-voting members were here, there might be more availability for folks to volunteer for the community outreach. It seems like we have a small group today, and we're not going to be able to develop that list.
Craig, can I throw one thing into the pot also here, because 5 and 6, I think, are related, and I want to give Craig all the credit for what I'm about to say here. But Craig had mentioned to me about the DYC, and I reached out to Allison Peters and Richard Well. And Richard is the newly appointed or elected chair of the CRA. And they were kind enough to have a tour, which I would suggest we do. I know we're talking about community outreach and maybe not looking at sites, but this just came up, so it was a great site. I think it's wonderful. It's 11,000 square foot building, and Craig, you have the maps. I think I gave you. It's adjacent to the CRA. The building is rock solid. Their plan is to build an addition to the CRA to take the place of the DYC gym and meeting rooms. And that's a long-term project, but they are more than willing to engage with this committee in terms of saying, how can we get to yes and have them build their addition and at the same time pass off the DYC to the town. I shouldn't say pass off the DYC, that we would take the DYC towards a public safety facility building. As you know, it's adjacent to our town hall. It's a wonderful, I would strongly suggest reaching out to them and having site visitation. It's a great thing.
Begin communication with them.
They're very positive about this.
Yes.
How we get there. And I think too, regarding the survey, it's really, somebody said it to me the other day, it's the speed of trust. We have to go now with the speed of trust, and that's going to be the community and informing them. I think we're all on board with that. What that speed is.
I think we all agree, Tony, that with this site off the table, we've been put into a situation where we have to start thinking about alternates that we maybe didn't want to think about before, and looking at existing properties we have and how we make better of that. But I agree that we're too soon to make any decisions. I really would like community outreach, engagement. Then we talk about properties, and then we talk about Brian and what he wants to do next with his feasibility study, if that seems rational.
Because other people are calling up and offering the properties.
It's coming every day. People will say,
So the thing is just, go back to my motion. I think we just table the property thing and just, stick to the community development.
what was that motion again, Don, that you had given? To do planning and community outreach.
Right.
And hold on.
Yeah, tap the brakes on all the property stuff for now, and let's really get the feedback from the community, if they're on board and they really want it, and have Brian Humes put together his portion of the community outreach for us.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't exclude people talking and.
No, it wouldn't exclude us, but just tap the brakes. Right, focus and got the community.
Yes, I got you.
I, motion that we set up a community outreach committee. And to Ryan's point, we make a plan of how we're gonna proceed.
I'm not going to say
Got two motions.
Second. So are they the same, really?
Same motions.
So who wants to retract or elaborate on their motion? We can
I'll
vote
retract
on yours.
mine, because this was first.
I just think to the same motions. It's
Yeah,
the
we're
point of
saying
trying-
the same.
Yeah, it's just the point of trying to figure out who we're gonna get. And as you were stating before, we don't have so much of our, audience yet tonight to see who wants to. I mean, I'm all set helping to do it. I don't know if the chief or Becky or, dispatch.
It could be two people
Brian.
in the voting committee. It could be two.
No, I'm just saying, in general, the 11 people that we have here.
Yeah, it
know.
could be two. It could be two voting members, as long as it's not a
Yep.
third, and then it could be one of multiple members of the non-voting group. And unfortunately, you guys are in your minority tonight, so I don't want to put it all on you. So let's wait and ask the entire committee, non-voting and voting, if they're interested in voting.
We don't have to form the committee tonight.
No,
We're
no.
just stating
Well,
that we're going to
Yeah.
form this committee.
Yeah, I don't even think we call it a committee, it's just a,
Subcommittee.
So-
Subcommittee.
what's the proper word, John? Well, we don't wanna have to go through whatever.
I'm thinking about that.
Yeah.
The more formal word would be subcommittee, because you're already a committee.
Right.
A working group, if it did not contain the majority vote in this group,
Right.
might be able to get by
Working group.
without,
They've done
I
on
don't
the
know
planning
whether it
board.
would be a public body or not. So
It's not a public body.
it might not be if the select board didn't appoint it, if it were just people
Right.
from this committee who got together with other people and said,
Exactly.
we're gonna do something on community engagement before
Right.
that.
And we're just notifying back to this board.
Would ad hoc be appropriate?
Yeah, I like that term. That's getting formal again.
Oh,
We
okay.
actually probably shouldn't call it anything.
Okay.
So it's,
Community engagement group?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
And-
Yes, sir.
But, yeah, the more you give it a name, the more it sounds like a public body.
Yes, sir. From my perspective, we need to come up with a little bit of a plan and what we would like to do. Then we can start to look for volunteers to get together and try and formalize it a little bit more.
Right.
Would you suggest this group put together the action plan of some sort?
Yeah, so I would say we should do a little bit of homework, just, put out, 5, 6 ideas of what we would like to do. We'll then, based on that, we'll try and get momentum for getting those things done.
So with this committee do it or the group?
So I would like to hear from the group.
Right.
So we would put
What
a
we
action
talked-
plan together that the subgroup or working group would then out, what's the word I'm looking for? Execute.
Execute, yeah.
Thank you. So we do have
Let's amend the motion to add that this committee would put together a list of what the,
but an action plan. Yeah.
Starts the action plan.
what this committee would like the action plan to do.
So what I hear the motion is to table alternate sites of the police station while we're developing an action plan and assigning a community outreach working group.
Yes.
Does that work?
That works for me.
Do we have a second?
Second that.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Sorry, Tony, I forgot how to spell your last name, and I just gave it to Becky as Pags, and I hope she would fill it in.
No, I didn't realize it.
That's what we call them anyway, so,
I got it.
In the minutes.
My Italian's not that great.
It's phonetically.
I would like to make a motion to table this item, after I had talked to Tony earlier today.
second it.
Any opposed? All in favor?
Aye.
Any new items, or anything that we haven't talked about in the last 48 hours that we need to discuss? I would like to suggest that our next meeting is May and June's tough for many families with summer coming up, vacations. I want to make sure I'm cognizant of everyone's time and availability.
Just real quick, if we're gonna set up a meeting to get the group started, maybe as we can do that sooner, so that we have May and June to actually overcome some of the hurdles there, to keep the pace moving.
Yeah, I would say that we
Even if we had a meeting in 2 weeks.
come
to
back
set
with
up,
some ideas for our next meeting, for our,
you know,
let's see.
Yeah, I would like to come back with our homework. And
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
to Ryan's point.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then we can move forward with whoever's gonna be a part of it for May and June.
Right.
So when we get really back into it, hopefully we'll be
Yeah.
there, right?
Yeah.
Do we want to go back to a Wednesday?
Yes.
So we're looking at the 28th for 6 PM?
Can we do it Tuesday? I have a wife, believe it or not, and that's like our anniversary.
Oh,
Tuesday, the 27th, we went out, then it's a select board.
that's nice. Do you want to celebrate it, Carol?
Well, we could, I'm usually given like that, I'm very conscious of it, but that's cool. No, I think we're gonna take it out for hot stuff.
I was just being, happy anniversary, pre-anniversary. Yes, I think Tuesday is fine with me.
Tuesday's unavailable, this is like our meeting throughout.
Look, can we meet in the other room?
Yeah.
Here?
Yeah.
We could meet over here in the other room.
Yeah, our meetings are never huge, so I think we can accommodate that for at least that meeting.
Yeah, 'cause it's gonna be really nothing.
It should be a quick meeting,
Right.
yeah, short agenda.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else that we need to talk about?
Just one thing,
We're
Craig.
gonna do it 5 or 6
I can do either.
Tuesday.
I would prefer 6.
Six.
I can do 5.
No, 6, my wife should do after, is that what?
This is the 29th,
No, 27.
7th, Tuesday.
27th. So it's being the wrong month.
May, no, yeah,
Yeah, May 27th.
May 27th. So, bless you.
Me.
Just one last.
So, May 27th, 6 PM, next meeting? Yes, sir.
We never approved the feasibility study. Correct, to adopt it. We did it at the select board at our last meeting. And there's no time to vote.
I-
I don't know if is it appropriate to even vote on it since we're in flux right now?
They never,
You know what?
they never voted on it.
I think, and I believe that all of us approved, that we approved our feasibility study, we'll ship back to the select board.
Yeah, the feasibility study the space needs assessment was approved.
Right.
The real estate assessment was not because we
Don't have a.
ended up here. So he, at some point, will need to do that again when we give him properties to
Yeah.
consider. So he may get another 4 properties we may give
I
him.
got it, I got it.
So,
Yeah, we're,
Let's just stay on the same page for a second. Our feasibility study has been approved. We approved it.
well, not feasibility, space needs.
Space needs study.
Yeah,
yeah,
so there's
as-
5 parts of
as
this.
a base.
Yeah.
Right, as the baseline, it has been approved, so it's out in the public now.
We approved
Correct, Al?
13,500 square foot. Yep, that's all been put out.
So you want to hold on feasibility till further,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we have a space needs assessment.
Yeah.
We have an alternate space needs assessment that Chief Stroud worked on with Brian a few weeks ago that reduced that footprint by almost 1,000. So that will probably continue for discussion as they
Before-
go forward.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so, is there anything else? Okay, I move that we adjourn.
I second it.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye. Look at that.